Hola gang, hola amigos, hola gang amigos. I don't know how to say gang in Spanish. Welcome back. Thank you for being here. Welcome back. Thank you for being here. I love that you're here. We have some housekeeping. So we've got some new goodies. Look at these. Look at the bottles that match. They're so pretty. We have touches of silver and touches of bronze, which match and now make like a little set. The gold flakes, which I'm now mentally calling touches of gold. So I'll show you that one as well as we're here. This is touches of bronze, so they're no wipe top coats, and touches of silver. And then I'll show you the gold one as well, which is look how shiny they are. Which is a very sort of champagne gold. So we'll swatch those. We won't swatch the gold one because I've already swatched it, but I'll show you them all together because they're a little family. We can't break them up. They're a little flaky family. So I'm going to swatch these two with toppers that have bits in. You do have to sort of wiggle things around a bit to get them where you want them, but it's not tricky. Don't be deterred. And then we can cure them. So obviously you can put these on whatever you want. If you want to use it not as a top coat, like do it and then put stuff on top of it, because it will dry tack free, just give it a buff and then carry on your merry way doing whatever you wanted to do. So that's them. Look at the matching bottles. Oh, it makes me happy. And then here we have the gold flakes, touches of silver and touches of bronze, and they've got tiny little bits of glitter in them as well that are very sparkly. That bronze one's really nice. It's almost rose gold. Maybe they should change medals to that, you know, gold, silver, rose gold. It would be less disappointing, wouldn't it? Because rose gold's prettier than bronze. Anyway, not that one should be disappointed with third place with a bronze medal. Then we have two new brushes. Oh my word, I was going to try and be calm in this video, but new stuff gets me very excited. And new brushes that wouldn't stop wiggling at stay. We have an angle brush. I can say the word. Which is an angled brush. Oh, I'm using this as a very professional background to show you. Give them a little bend like that and you'll hear them you'll feel them crack a bit. It's very satisfying. But it's really skinny, the point. So it'll be really nice for precise stuff. Haven't quite decided what to do with the angle one yet. I'm sure there's plenty of things to do with it, but I was getting a bit too excited about this because I haven't looked at them at this point. Oh, fingers crossed that it was like the angle one but straight. Oh, and it is, yes. This is going to, I've got so many ideas for this. Mainly like plaid, for doing or any kind of stripy stuff, you know, trying to get it in focus. That's also very skinny at the tip. So you can paint perfectly straight, you know, check or whatever, or any lines. Or you paint the nail and then you wipe away with the brush before curing. You know, when we do crisscross stuff or tartan, all this. I'm very excited about this brush. So they're going to meet their family. I had to introduce them. You know, I didn't want them to be the newbies and get bullied. So say, hello, who are you? I'm the angle brush and this is my friend straight brush. Hello, welcome to the family. There we go. Everyone's happy. They'll have a little party. Oh, and I also have the peel off base coat and the gel remover. That's for another video. We've got another video planned, but I will show you more. We'll look more into those in another video that I've got planned. And then breathe. And then look at this. They've sent me this tote bag that says I'm a VIP and then Madame Glam at the bottom. I'm not a Madame Glam VIP, so I think they're just telling me that in general I'm a very important person. It's got a base, so it doesn't just finish like two sides sewn together at the bottom. It has got a base panel. It's not a hard panel, it's fabric, but it's a sturdy fabric. And yeah, they just think that overall I'm a VIP, so I deserve to have a bag, so everybody knows. But that's really quite fancy. I like that a lot. Is it as fancy as this though? I hadn't opened this at this point either, so I didn't know what it was. But it's got this sewn on it. The bag has printing, but this has it sewn on. It's an apron, a fancy pants smart Madame Glam apron. We've got little ties at the back and a neck thing strap that's adjustable. And then this. Oh, and it's got, guess what, girls? It's got pockets. Yay! We love a pocket. It's got two big pockets on the front, and then it has this stitched sewn on the top bit. So it's very fancy, and I don't know whether I'm alone in this. I highly doubt it, but my clothes, when I had more clients, because I don't really do clients at the moment, I don't know what the number 16 means, but I was looking for a washing machine tab. I'll have a look on the website in a minute and tell you. I imagine it's machine washable. But my clothes just got covered in gel polish and stuff. So that's quite nice to wear and not mess up your clothes. And the bag, look how fancy. Come on now. And black. You can't beat black, can you? So that's the housekeeping out the way. That's the new goodies that I'm very excited about. And today's video, we are going to be trying Aura nails. So I've got out my little pigment drawer. We'll use that palette because apparently the new Pantone colour of the year is some kind of brown. So we'll use that. Not that I believe any of it, that our colour of the year is. Don't tell me what the colour of the year is, okay? I'll do and wear and choose whatever colour I want. How ridiculous. And I'm using these two e.l.f. brushes, which I'll show you closer in a min. Those brushes I don't end up using. I think I tried using for pigments before, and I think the e.l.f. ones come out better. And then this spongy thing, we'll give that a go. We're going to do some different techniques. We've got these pigments. Slow down. Slow down. As the video speeds up. These pigments are from Temu. And I'm 99.999 recurring % sure that they're the same ones as a brand that does them. They're the exact same pots, come in the exact same box, and they're the exact same colours, and they're super pigmented. So we're going to be using those as well. And we're also going to be doing some polish ones, and can't remember. We'll have to wait and see. So we're going to start with this. I've got the page open, ready to tell you what it's called. Organised for once. This is the Harmony Pigment Palette. And we're using the e.l.f. Eyeshadow C brush, which I looked for on Amazon. Couldn't find on Amazon, but you can get it on the e.l.f. website. But I'll show you more about that in a minute. I was deciding which colour to do first. So I've done a coat of white and cured it. Did I full cure it? I think I did. And I'm not putting velvet top coat down. This is going onto the tacky layer, which I know feels like, will that blend well if it's on a tacky layer? But we're trying different things. We'll see what happens. We do one where we velvet and do pigments in a bit. But I saw a video of someone doing it straight onto this. So I thought, let's give that a go. It's, you know, if you can miss out a step, then why not? So I'm taking the e.l.f. brush and I've pat some of the pigment onto some kitchen roll and just using that almost as my palette. Just because you don't want to go in with loads on a brush. Look how pigmented they are. Woo! You don't want to go in with loads and for it to all speckle everywhere. Or, what's the word? What's the blooming word? Like fallout. You know when you get fallout from a makeup pan. You don't want that all over the nail. So I'm using the brush and I'm just doing little little strokes coming inwards, so working from the outside of the nail and coming inwards. Which, how would you do that on a person? I suppose you would just have to pat right around, get it all over their skin, doesn't matter, as long as the gel's not on their skin. And then you can wipe it off at the end. And then we're taking a lighter one. I just wiped the brush a whole bunch before going into that. And we're going to do the same, but just starting from where the fadey out bit is of the first colour. And just coming in a little bit. Just very little pat and pulls, but almost in, imagine a banana. I don't know why I went there. Imagine a banana, a smile shape. Okay, so not a C on it, not like a U shape, but like a smile shape. That's what we're doing with our brush. When we come in, we're coming in at an angle, going down, moving along a bit, and then lifting up at an angle. So a smooth kind of hit the ground running stroke. But it doesn't look like that's going on because it's very, very tiny. But that's the message that my brain is sending to my hand. Yeah? Was that overcomplicated enough? So we're going to, I think now I was adding a bit more of the dark, just because I thought I could bring the dark in a bit more. And these pigments have got like a sheen to them. It's really nice. See, they've got like a pearly look. Oh, so this is what I'm doing. Oh no, on this one I'm pressing and pulling in a little bit. But I'll show you the smile shape one later on. I'll do a little demonstration for you. But yeah, I'm just doing tiny little, pressing the brush down and then just pulling it a tiny bit in, lifting up. Pull, 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 pull. But you know, you're pulling and you're lifting up as you pull away. And then we're going to take, which one? This one? Yeah. And pat some off. Just sort of loading the brush a bit and just going in it vertically with the brush here so that we don't get a big straight line across the center. I'm putting that in the middle, and then do I go outwards or in? No, then I'm doing the same again, going into the second color. So where the second color faded towards the center, that faded bit is going to be where we start brushing this lighter color. And then I'm wiping the brush now, just so I can go from the outside and work all the way in. So if you're going to go from one color to another color, give your brush a wipe first so you don't transfer them to the wrong place. And that's that, and I love it. I really like that. I know it's brown, and brown is questionable in general, but I have started really liking browns and greens in my old age. So I really like that. Could it be neater? Yes. Was it my first time doing it? Yes. But I like it. You see that pearly finish? That's really pretty. That would be really nice to do like a stamp or hand painting if you wanted to have like some old calligraphy writing to make it look like a, you know, old love letter or something, or a burnt treasure map. So I looked and they've got other palettes, which I knew but had forgotten. So 100% going to try and get my hands on those. I was looking at this brush that Votino sells. It's $20, about the price you'd want to bid on a trip for two to Paris. And that was a friend's reference, not a Paris insult. Been there, it's lovely. And then there's this one. So I have bought something from the Votino website before, and the shipping to the UK was crazy. And then I added that brush and it upped the shipping a lot more, so I didn't get it. But I got this from Elf, which is £4.50, and the delivery was £4.50 as well. You might be able to find it on Amazon. I know they've got some stuff on Amazon, some brushes. So that this Elf one is a cheaper version, I suppose, maybe depending on where you're looking. So we're going to use that brush again here, and we're going to do the same again, which might seem silly to do the same technique again, but sometimes, which I learned whilst doing this, you can do the same thing and get different results, which I do show you an example of that. So I should be starting from the outside of the nail and working my way in, not putting, you want to put your brush, you want to start your stroke from where you want the most pigmented part of that colour to be, because as you pull away it's going to thin out. Oh, and making sure I get a curve here and not a straight line. Yeah, so that doing what I'm doing here, silly. See how it's, yeah, look, don't work inside out, work outside in. So we can wisp off towards the centre. Let's just have a check. Was I in the middle of talking about something and change the subject by any chance? Don't know, maybe not. So this, we're using the pigments from that collection I got from Temu. And I did ages ago watch, I think it was a Votino live. I mean, he's amazing. I love him and he's adorable. And he was talking about pigment techniques and things. And I definitely got some tips from it. Can't remember which ones they were though. It was quite a while ago. With the time difference, it's always a lot later here. Because I'm in the future. I'm living in the future. So we're going to work from the outside in, pat it in. Oh, here I'm going around the sides, I'm doing little curves. Just because it's easier to hold the nail straight and bring it in than to put the nail in landscape mode. I mean, it's not difficult with a pop, but with a human it might be difficult. Twist them and get them to lie on your desk. So you can do their nail in landscape mode. And then we're going to wipe off any excess off the brush and dust it in, and then take, I'm going to do 3 colours on this one. Did I do 3 on the last one? Yes. And then take the next colour, which is this super bright pink, and then start, so we want the darkest part of the pink to be there, and wisp in so we can go over the purple a little bit. And again, I think I could have brought the first colour in a bit more, so I might go back and add some more of it. You do have to be careful with pigments in the sense of, oh, bits like that. You know, you can't wipe, I mean, you could wipe a bit off. If I got a bit in the, actually, no, you wouldn't want to. If I got a big blob of pink in the middle here and wanted to wipe it off, I would wipe away the tackiness for the next colour. You know, so it's better to have a little bit on your brush and build it up slowly. So that you don't make any mistakes, because you can't go wiping bits off with pigment. It's kind of a sort of, you know, get it right or start again type situation, which is not my favourite thing. But I suppose practice makes better. Nobody's perfect. But practice will make better. But it is a bit sort of scary, you know, with gel. The beauty is that if you make a mistake, you can just wipe it off and carry on. But pigment's not so much. So, oh, I've added more dark around the side. So I'm going to really give this a good wipe. And then take, oh, and then I'm going to mix. So it came with a white, and I'm going to mix it with another pink. To make it, or am I using the same pink from before? And I think it is a different pink. I think, yes. Maybe, who knows, just to lighten it a bit, because we want it lighter in the centre. Don't get any in the white lid. And then we can go in the middle and just start patting away. Patty, pat, pat. I just thought maybe it'd be nice to see 2 of each example. Just, I don't know. Just did. I feel quite disgusted with myself this evening. What's the time? It's 2:38 in the morning. This evening I have eaten what did I have for dinner? I had a small portion of spag bol and a little bit of garlic bread. And then I Deliverooed some Haribo and some Maltesers and some Galaxy Minstrels and some Flips salted caramel covered pretzel things. Not to eat all tonight, but I did eat an entire pack of, oh, look how pretty that is. It's not the perfect blend at all, but it will do. And I'm going to float the top coat, so we don't want to drag our pigments. I've eaten a share bag of minstrels and Haribo Super Mix. But please note that a European share bag is significantly smaller than a share bag in other countries, okay? It's not as big. So even though I did eat a share bag, I ate a European share bag. I'm just telling myself that to feel better. So that was that one. We're going to use polish now, and we're going to do 2 sponging ones with different... Look at that colour. Oh, that's amazing. That is an amazing colour. And look at the pigment. Oh, we're going to use 2 different types of sponges. One thing I do want to say, though, about the pigments is you can build it up, but it will get to a point where, you know, pigment isn't going to just keep sticking. So you will have to press it in a bit harder. But there will only be a certain amount of pigment you can put on before it just won't stick, because it's not going to stick to itself that well, you know. Does that make sense? I think so. So I'm using this sponge, which for some reason came out in an oval when I tapped it on the nail. And we're going to build up the colours this way. This way is slow. There's a lot of curing. I think I was doing maybe half cures because the amount that is transferring onto the nail is very, very thin. So I'm going to pat in the blob of gel and then pat away so we don't get too much of a big splodge. And we want to gradually build it up and then work our way outwards to the darker colour. But again, we will have to cure. Oh my God, I can't breathe. We will have to cure as we go. So when you pat a bit on and you realise that's not adding any more now, it's almost taking it away, cure it. Because you can't keep building up wet on wet. You know, if you're pressing down, applying pressure and spreading it out, it's not going to... But anyway, you need to cure as you go. I can't explain that. I can't explain what I'm trying to say. But we'll put that in the lamp. And I'm using 2 colours. 3 colours. I probably could have got away with using 2. So this is the same colour, the same second colour. And we're just going to do the same. And I believe I will speed these up at some point, because how long can we look at me dabbing? I don't know. But when I speed it up, it's at 3 times the speed, just for so you have a rough idea of how much faster it's actually going here. So I'm still using the second colour, trying to build it up, because if you do I? All right. Okay. I just had like 7 conversations in my head. You didn't hear any of them, so it's not very helpful. Building up the same colour on the same colour while it's wet won't happen. Won't happen in gradient form. No, I can't. And now we're using a third colour, which I could have just started with as the second colour, but you know, which we're trying. This is all trial and error. So again, we'll push our spongy thing. I have cleaned it off. You saw there on the lint white that had some isopropyl alcohol on it. Make sure if you do that like I did, then dab it on a dry lint-free wipe, because if it's too wet, it will affect, and it's got some isopropyl alcohol in it, it will affect using it now. So make sure you dab it all off, but then dab it dry. And then we're going to work from this colour into the second colour, but they don't look that different, do they? It is a bit lighter, isn't it? But it has got, you can see the sponge marks, which I think looks fine, but it's not. I think what I had in my head was trying to get like this perfect ombre going from the centre out, but I don't think that's what the aura is it? That would just be an ombre. It is supposed to really fade out into the other colour, as opposed to blend into the other colour, but fading out would blend. I was in my head, you know, had to stop myself from thinking that it needed to be a perfect ombre. It is supposed to be not. So now I'm taking the dark blue again, the first colour, and I thought that looked really pretty, so there you go. And I'm going to go around the outside, which might have been a really stupid idea, because the point is that the middle was kind of fading outward onto the dark, whereas now the dark's kind of fading inward into the light. But I think, again, that was just my brain trying to make it as seamless as possible. We don't need to worry about floating a top coat here because it's gel, so it's not going to be dragging pigments. If, which I did, I think, on my pigment ones, before putting them in the lamp. That's blurry. Oh, yeah, it's not very good, is it? It's quite patchy. I mean, to be fair, that's probably bigger than what it is in real life on the screen, but with the pigments, when I'd finished and before topping, I kept going to put it in the lamp and then realising I didn't need to, but I held it straight in front of my mouth and just blew directly onto it, not at an angle, just straight onto it, to sort of get rid of any excess pigment, which worked. However, I don't know how well that would go down with clients. You know, just hand me your finger and just blow on their fingers. I don't think that's very professional practice. I needed one of those little things, little claw things to hold this, because I couldn't make a nice circular shape out of the sponge. But we're using a sponge this time, which we were using in the last one, but this is a different sponge. So we're using black. Now, if we want anything to go on black and we're going to put it in thin layers like this, we need to give it a white base. So that's what we're doing here. So we're going to do the same as the one we've just done, but with this sponge and giving our colour a base. Otherwise it won't show up very bright on black. And again, this is a lot of curing, adding more. I think with the very thin layer that we're putting on, you can get away with a half cure, and then obviously a final cure at the end. So we'll whiz through this a bit more, maybe slow down for a little bit when we add a new colour, and then zoom up again. Zoom up. What was the word? Not zoom. Speed up, and cure, and repeat, and cure, and repeat, and blah 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 blah. You know the spongy thing I used on the blue one just now, the proper sponge tool? I ordered one of those years and years and years and years and years ago. I think very close to when I first started, because I thought I'll use it for ombres. Or pink madness. I went for the brightest possible pink. Look at that. Ooh. And I ordered it, and it came, and the things on the end weren't sponges. They were rock hard. They looked like sponges. It was like someone had dipped the sponges in plastic, and they were rock hard. And I can't remember where I got it from, but I emailed them and was like, what the heck? And they weren't understanding what I was saying. I'm like, no, you've got the product. You can't send it back for a refund. I was like, it's a rock. It's anyway. So be careful where you buy from. I probably got it from eBay if I was just starting out. But you definitely want to make sure it's a sponge, and I think you can get replaceable sponge things for them. But give it a clean and get as much use out of things as you can, as long as it's a clean use. You don't want to be cross-contaminating or anything. Right, so we're carrying on with our makeup sponge. But the sponge, I think I showed when I was first holding the sponge, breathe, is a different texture on the inside of the sponge than the outside of the sponge. And I'm using the inside of the sponge because I thought the outside was too close. How can I describe it? Imagine like the sponge is loads of bubbles. The bubbles were too close together. You know, it was the knit was close. It was too fine a sponge as opposed to a more bobbly sponge, which I thought would give us an easier gradient by having the sponge bits, the sponge bubbles, bigger and further apart. What are you talking about, woman? So instead of using different colours here, I'm just adding white to the pink to get lighter as we get towards the centre. I am going to do the pink with the brighter pink, the baby pink with the brighter pink in the centre. I'm going to show you two ways, or two. I did it twice, and I think possibly the same way, just to show that they came out really differently. I'm not a fan of that. The kind of maybe even French pink, nail bed pink with the dark pink in the middle aura. It looks like you've been to a chop shop and they've over-filed your nails and that they're very sore and you're in a lot of pain and should probably get some kind of, you know, ointment or something for it. But we do it because I know it's popular. I see pictures of it everywhere, so I guess it is. But yeah, I don't get that look. It looks like you've hit all your fingers with a hammer. You know, a 10-headed hammer accidentally. I'm taking the black again. I'm working from the outside in again. Shouldn't have done that. I think we want the pink fading out to the black, not the black fading into the pink. But hey ho. I do like this one. However, I feel like this whole aura thing, this is very, is quite textured. You know, you can see the print, but I think that looks quite cool. That'd be quite cool if you added stuff for some kind of geode or something, you know. The whole aura thing, yeah, I feel like you could just paint the nail the colour you want and then do a line of black or whatever colour around the entire nail and then just fade that in, you know. I don't know. I suppose that is probably quite a different look. I think the thing is that the best aura nails are done with an airbrush. I don't have an airbrush. I would imagine more nail techs don't use airbrush than do. So I think you're going to probably get the best results with an airbrush, but don't have one. So we've got to try and do it without. Okay, we've used ball pit nails. What's this pink called? XOXO? No, is it? Maybe. I showed you the bottle. If you weren't paying attention, well, you only have yourself to blame. So I've velveted. I've only cured the velvet for 10 seconds. Then I've put a dab of pink pigment in the middle using an eyeshadow applicator, and then just directly vertically above the blob, this blob, which I think you can put a little bit of excess on. You don't want to rub it in really firmly so there's no excess, because you want to be able to then puff out the excess. So I'm going straight above and letting my brush completely splay out, but splay in a perfect circle, you know, as if you were pressing it down into a table and all the bristles came out in a circle. And that's what we're doing. And I think this is probably the easiest way and the most effective I've found from this video, but I'm going to do this again because I couldn't see. I went to put it in the lamp. Don't need to. We'll top. I couldn't see until after I'd done it that it wasn't that good. So that's my first attempt at that idea. Didn't see that idea anywhere. I was just thinking, how can I smush straight down onto it and spread it out? And I thought, I know, we'll just smush straight down onto it and spread it out. So we're going to try that again with purple. I do this full cure and then velvet top, or matte top would work as well. Velvet might be a bit better. And then I only cured for 10 seconds. And then I tried this using the dark purple pigment on this. No luck. Wasn't showing up very well. Just wasn't happening. You can see I've got the purple on the end of the applicator there. Didn't work for me. So I'm using the bright pink again. Leaving a bit of excess on this. He went to tap it. Thought, no, don't tap it because it will move where you don't want it. And then instead of going straight down and smushing out, I'm keeping one side of the brush almost centered in the nail, so I'm not going too far out of the circle. I'm just going to the edge of the circle and pushing, and then as the circle gets bigger we can go to the edge of that and push. Do you see? Half the brush is always inside the circle, and then just going around like that, and it does thin out, so it is thinning out the pigment, and you are seeing a bit of the purple through where it's thinned out, but it's not showing on camera very well. But it was in real life, which is why I was like, this is fantastic, I've done it, I've cracked it, let's top. But it's just not showing on camera very well. But that was the easiest, quickest, and I think most effective. I maybe shouldn't have gone quite so big with my circle. It kind of takes up the whole nail and you can't see where it thins out, so it does just look like I've put a big splodge of pink paint in the middle of a nail, but give it a go. But you want to test with your colours to see how they come out. One positive thing is though, if you don't like it, you can wipe it, wait for it to really dry after wiping the pigment off if you don't like it, and then you should be able to add more pigment straight onto that matte top coat. You know, you won't have to re-matte top it. Because I think the purple one, I tried it with purple pigments on the purple, didn't like it, wiped it, let it dry, and then it still took pigments. So there is a bit of, wiggle room to mess up. You won't have to retop. So I'm trying it again with the pink to do this kind of, I've injured myself aura, the injury aura, I'm going to call it. And again, I go too big with the circle. And it doesn't show very well on camera, the faded area. But it was, it doesn't need to go in the lamp, woman. But I think it was the best I was going to do. And at this point, although I will show you something else in a second, at this point, I was ready to be done with auras. Thank you very much. So there's that one. It does look better in person. That looks really tragic, doesn't it? Maybe use a smaller brush to make the circle bigger so you don't get carried away, because my big brush made it big quite quickly. And I'm just going to show you this sped up. So I'm going to do the same technique with yellow on black, which turns green when I'm putting it on the black, and why you need a white, I think, base on the yellow. When I took it off screen just then, I blew on it, gave it a big just to get rid of excess without hopefully it going where I don't want it. But look at this. See how the colour almost disappears, because when you put something that is sheer, so this pigment that we faded out, the black comes straight through those faded areas. It's much more powerful. So now this looks like nothing. And here's all of them. I've got so much more to say. Like when you do smoke on a nail, which I want to do again soon, some neon smoke, when you put the pigments over it and dust them off, when you top, you can see them bright on the white bits, but not on the black bits. So that's why that neon pigment on the black, you need a white base, I think. So maybe the gel sponging technique would be best for that. Anyway, can't believe I haven't asked you how you are yet. Are you okay? Have you had a nice time? I hope you've had a nice time. Keep commenting. I love to hear from you. I do read them all. Go to the description for loads of discount links. Like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.